Good morning, America. Two major headlines out of Washington this morning, including the president's new border threat. Donald Trump threatening to shut down the entire southern border if Mexican authorities don't block migrants from entering the U.S.
We'll keep it closed for a long time.
What's behind this decision and how much could it hurt the American economy? This as we learn new details about the Mueller report. When will the Attorney General, William Barr, release it to the public? And when will he testify on Capitol Hill?
Breaking overnight, wild weather. A suspected tornado sending these mobile homes tumbling. Its massive force as hail hits this area, sending cars slipping and sliding. Where this strong system is headed next.
Defending her decision, the prosecutor explaining why she decided not to prosecute Empire actor Jussie Smollett. Her latest comments as Smollett's a no-show at the NAACP Image Awards. Will he make an appearance tonight?
Parents in court, part of that nationwide college admissions scandal as actress Lori Loughlin's co-stars finally break their silence on the matter. Are they coming to her defense?
And we now know the Elite Eight. The college teams moving on. Duke flirting with disaster, the nail-biting finish, Zion Williamson's slam dunk performance, plus an overnight upset, the injury, and despite a win, a coach in tears.
Live from ABC News in New York, this is Good Morning America.
Good morning. The madness is real. I'm sure a lot of people are tired this morning, too, if they're up at this hour. A wild night getting to those Elite Eight. We've got upsets, near upsets. What we do know, it is anyone's game.
And Dan's bracket is still near perfect, isn't it, this year?
Who do you have to win the whole thing?
University of Massachusetts.
There you go. Perfect.
No, that's my home.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, anyway, I'm not a huge follower of sports, as they've now exposed. Thanks for that, guys.
That's what we're here for.
Welcoming me back from vacation. We're going to have much more on the Elite Eight coming up. However, we are going to lead this morning with the twin headlines out of Washington. Headline number one, the Attorney General now says he will send the Mueller report to Congress in April. But how much of that report will we actually see?
And headline number two, President Trump is now threatening to shut down the entire southern border next week if Mexico does not start doing more to stem the tide of migrants.
We have team coverage this morning. Matthew Dowd standing by with analysis, but we start here with ABC News White House correspondent Tara Palmieri, who is traveling with the president in Florida. She starts us off with the latest developments on that Mueller report. Good morning to you, Tara.
Good morning, Eva. The report will be out in a matter of weeks, but the fight is not over. Democrats are questioning how Attorney General William Barr will handle the report, and the details damaging to the president will be blacked out.
While President Trump takes a victory lap,
The collusion delusion is over.
Attorney General William Barr giving in to mounting pressure from Democrats, announcing that he'll release the Mueller report. Writing in a letter to Congress, quote, "I share your desire to ensure that Congress and the public have the opportunity to read the special counsel's report. Everyone will soon be able to read it on their own." The report is nearly 400 pages. Barr said he'll work with special counsel Robert Mueller to edit out classified information and grand jury secrets.
What I fear is he's going to produce something, but it's going to be so redacted as to be meaningless.
Barr promising to hand over the report by mid-April without sign-off from the White House.
Well, I have great confidence in the Attorney General, and if that's what he'd like to do, I have nothing to hide.
Democrats not satisfied since Barr submitted a 4-page summary of the report last week, stating that the special counsel Robert Mueller found no collusion and could not determine if there was obstruction of justice. Democrats are warning they'll subpoena if critical portions of the report are redacted.
We're going to compel this. This is a fight that is worth going to the mat on.
Barr has agreed to testify on Capitol Hill on May 2nd, but already President Trump seems to be showing some concern about the report being released. He tweeted last night, "Maybe we should just take our victory and say no. We've got a country to run." Eva?
All right, Tara Palmieri, thank you. Now to that other big headline, the president's new threat to close the border with Mexico next week. President Trump demanding that Mexico stop illegal immigration. ABC's Stephanie Ramos has more from Washington. Good morning, Stephanie.
Eva, good morning. President Trump has threatened to close the border before, right? But this time he's giving a timetable just a week before he's set to visit the region. This morning, President Trump is threatening to close the southern border as early as next week if Mexican authorities do not block migrants from entering the U.S.
Mexico is going to have to do something, otherwise I'm closing the border.
With this month's number of border crossings nearly double than last March and no additional money for the border wall from Congress, President Trump is now ready to turn his repeated threat into action.
Mexico's tough. They can stop them, but they chose not to. Now they're going to stop them. And if they don't stop them, we're closing the border. They'll close it, and we'll keep it closed for a long time. I'm not playing games. We have no detention space, no nothing.
And he's got backup. Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen supports the plan and is prepared to close ports.
I think what the president is making clear is with these numbers, if we have to close ports to take care of all of the numbers who are coming, we will do that.
Mexico fired right back. The foreign minister tweeting, Mexico does not act on the basis of threats. We are a great neighbor. Closing the border for any amount of time could have serious economic repercussions for both countries. When it closed for just 5 hours last fall, the cost was $5.3 million in lost revenues, according to the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. An average of $1.7 billion worth of goods cross back and forth every single day. Some lawmakers think the border move is another maneuver for the president's manufactured crisis.
President Trump declares the emergency. Now you have to justify it. And the justifications are what's causing the tragedy.
And in a stunning development overnight, the State Department says that at the president's direction, the U.S. is cutting foreign aid to El Salvador, Honduras, and Guatemala. These three countries are the central source of migrants to the U.S., so many of them overwhelmingly women and children. Dan.
Thank you so much for your reporting this morning. Really appreciate it. So let's bring in ABC News Chief Political Analyst Matthew Dowd. Matthew, so much to talk about. Let's start with the border situation. Does the president have a case here when he says that Mexico could and should be doing more to stop the flow of migrants from Central American countries who travel up through Mexico?
Yes, I think the president does have a case to make. Obviously, what the president did was prioritize this thing wrong over the last few years, when he basically focused on the border and focused on national security when he should have been focused on the humanitarian crisis in this. But he does have a point because of this large flow of refugees coming in. If we had done something with the Central American countries where these refugees are coming from and they're traveling through Mexico to the United States, we might have been able to solve the problem. But now I think is the time. The wall isn't going to prevent this. I think working with Mexico, working with the Central American countries will. It's the only way we're going to deal with this humanitarian crisis because these folks, these refugees, are desperate for food, are desperate for shelter, and are desperate for jobs.
And they're dealing with a lot of gang violence, as I've seen firsthand. And as Stephanie Ramos just pointed out, apparently the State Department is going to cut aid to these countries. So we'll see what happens there. Let's, meanwhile, loop back to the Mueller report. The Attorney General, as we reported, is now saying that he's going to send the report to Congress in April. How much of this report do you think we're actually going to see, or are we going to see pages and pages of blacked out redactions?
Well, I think the administration, the president, and Attorney General Bill Barr have made a mistake from the beginning. I think any time of these, and I've been in politics for 30-plus years, whatever is going to come out is eventually will come out in the course of this. So thinking that you could be satisfactory with something less than 4 pages, which obviously wasn't, which came out last weekend by the Attorney General, and I think now we know that the report is over almost 400 pages. I think in the end, the entirety of the report will come out, whether it's tomorrow or next week or next month or next year, it will come out. So I think the president and the Attorney General are best off giving as much as possible, obviously with things related to national security and the private lives of others redacted, as much as possible now, because the longer you do this drip, drip, drip is the problem in this situation. And so I think they'd be behooved to give it as much as possible because it will all eventually come out.
Matthew Dowd, we always appreciate your analysis. Thank you very much. Whit, over to you.
All right, Dan, thanks. Now to the prosecutor in the Jussie Smollett case defending her office's decision to drop all charges against the Empire actor. She's also saying that she's now open to an outside investigation into the matter. ABC's Ariel Reshef joins us with the latest. Ariel, good morning.
Good morning to you, Whit. Cook County DA Kim Foxx standing firm in her decision to drop charges, saying despite considerable evidence that Smollett was lying about being attacked, there was no guarantee of a conviction, but stressing in that op-ed overnight he has not been exonerated. This morning, Cook County prosecutor Kim Foxx doubling down on her decision not to prosecute Empire actor Jussie Smollett. In a Chicago Tribune op-ed, Foxx writing, "There were specific aspects of evidence and testimony presented to the office that would have made securing a conviction against Smollett uncertain." Foxx saying she welcomes an outside review of how her office handled the case, claiming alternative outcomes are reserved for people who make us angry but need to learn the error of their ways without seeing their lives irrevocably destroyed. That letter coming amid speculation Smollett might attend the NAACP Image Awards, where he was nominated for Best Supporting Actor in a Drama.
Jussie Smollett.
He didn't win. On Thursday, Smollett facing the public for the first time since prosecutors dropped all 16 counts against him.
Welcome back to LA, Jussie.
Despite what Chicago police call a staged attack, the embattled star maintaining he was the victim of a racist and homophobic assault at the hands of two men wearing ski masks. In a letter, the city of Chicago demanding Smollett repay the cost of looking into the alleged hate crime, which officials say totals more than $130,000.
Given that he doesn't feel any sense of contrition and remorse, my recommendation is when he writes the check, in the memo section, he can put the word, "I'm accountable," for the hoax.
Now the actor's team swinging back, saying the mayor and police chief owe Jussie an apology for dragging an innocent man's character through the mud, claiming Jussie has paid enough. And we know he's maintained his innocence this entire time.
This story will continue for a little bit, at least.
It's been evolving.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate it.
Sure.
Well, now to a dramatic story overnight. A police chase on a Los Angeles highway ends in an hour-long standoff with the suspect now in custody. The driver, initially wanted for reckless driving, can be seen backing his car into LAPD cruisers at least 6 times. At one point, even brandishing a knife outside of his window. The driver sideswiping vehicles, nearly hitting a pedestrian and squeezing by a bus before finally getting stuck between 2 cars. Officers eventually taking him into custody.
Now to a viral video provoking outrage, as well as some hard questions at a high school in Louisiana. The tape shows a man, apparently a coach, forcefully restraining a female student. ABC's Zachary Keish is here with more on that story. Zachary, good morning.
Whit, good morning to you. The big question is, what provoked this reaction from school leaders? The video does not capture what led up to the takedown, but it's undeniably aggressive. And the family of that young woman seen on the ground says she's been traumatized. Watch as the video shows a 14-year-old female student on the ground.
You're gonna be still on the thump your in this concrete.
Restrained by 2 men who the student's mother say are coaches. One holds the young girl's legs while the other pins a knee in her chest. The student's visibly disturbed mother is now speaking out.
No mother should ever have to experience that. No mother. And I went to the school a couple times behind her being bullied, and I was assured, even by the coach that has his fence in her stomach, and he also assured me that she was well protected.
The video of the takedown at Ponchatoula Junior High School in Louisiana was posted on social media and has led to an internal investigation. The mother suggesting the incident happened when her daughter confronted someone who had been bullying her.
She had to defend herself, and in the mix of her defending herself from being bullied, that's what happened to her.
The superintendent of schools released a statement saying, in part, "We are deeply saddened by the incident on the video. This behavior does not represent the expectations we have for the adults and the students on our campus." Now, the mother of this child says that she reached out to the school multiple times about these incidents. Those cries fell on deaf ears. Now, she's pulled all 3 of her students out of that school, and we reached out to the leaders of that school, and they haven't responded. But the video, right? And a lot of questions there. What provoked that?
Absolutely. Thank you, Zachary.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Another story we're following this morning out of Miami. Police are looking for a driver who sent a car flying through the air, and it was all caught on camera. Take a look. Watch as the orange-colored Kia SUV switches lanes, hitting the black Mercedes, which then goes airborne. Then the SUV hits a red truck before speeding off. The driver in the Mercedes uninjured, saying he never saw it coming. The whole incident caught on video by a dash cam installed in a vehicle just 2 cars behind.
In California, a man has been sentenced to 20 years in prison for making phony 911 calls across the country. One of those calls turned deadly. Tyler Barris has admitted to so-called swatting, which is calling authorities and triggering SWAT teams to surround the homes of unwitting victims. Barris sent police to a home in Kansas where they fatally shot an innocent man back in 2017 after they were told falsely that he was holding his family hostage.
Well, now to March Madness. It started with 68 teams. Now, after an exciting night, all that's left are the Elite Eight.
There's the lie, the lob to Hill, and he missed it!
Overnight, Duke dancing their way to the Elite Eight.
Oh, my goodness!
The top-ranked Blue Devils narrowly escaping yet another nail-biting finish.
Another one right at the rim! Goes Duke's way!
Down with less than a second left, Virginia Tech throwing a perfect lob from the sideline, but the ball bouncing just off the rim as time expires. A wild finish, reminiscent of this last-second win against UCF a week ago. As for Duke's Zion Williamson, it was another day at the office.
Rejects it.
And for a tournament mostly lacking in upsets, when Auburn faced off against North Carolina, the Tigers proved to be the exception. Auburn taking out the #1 seeded Tar Heels with surprising ease.
Auburn is elite.
But this win bittersweet after their start. Chuma Okeke went down with a knee injury. His coach emotional after the game.
We're going to rally.
In Kentucky's matchup against Houston, this deep ball late in the game, the difference in this Wildcats win. For Michigan State's Aaron Henry, it was a redemption game. Remember last weekend when his coach Tom Izzo had that controversial exchange with him? Well, everything was falling for Henry against LSU. The freshman's career-high 20 points leading the Spartans to the Elite Eight.
Right now, he's playing as good as anybody.
Okay, so what's next, right? We have Texas Tech versus Gonzaga, Purdue versus Virginia, Michigan State versus Duke. That should be a really good one. And Auburn versus Kentucky.
Purdue's on a roll.
Yeah.
Duke's struggling, obviously, but they're getting there.
And it'll be interesting to see how Auburn plays without their star player.
And Dan is so excited.
Exactly.
You don't want my analysis?
We missed your analysis last weekend, Dan.
Your analysis.
What is your analysis?
This was your analysis. You sent this in
that was
from wherever you were. Oh, you were at the mothership.
That was my bracket.
That's
my bracket.
Dan's bracket. You know what's sad
At
about
least
that
he knew what
bracket?
sport it was.
His bracket was actually performing better than mine.
Better than everybody's.
Than most of ours.
All right. Now that Rob's here at the desk, we are transitioning, though, to some severe weather in some parts of the country.
Yeah, you know, it's March Madness in the weather department as well. We have these wild swings from one end of the spectrum to the other, and we had that yesterday. All sorts of weather happening in the central part of the country. Overnight, severe weather hitting the central U.S. Watch as these RVs get thrown around in Colorado, one after another being lifted by an apparent tornado. Fierce winds twisting and tossing the huge campers. The funnel clouds spinning just outside of Colorado Springs. And check this out. That same storm dumping so much hail it accumulates like snow. Cars spinning out. One pickup giving another stuck vehicle a nudge to get moving. And real snow hampering drivers in Denver dealing with near whiteout conditions as cold air pours in behind the system. This car flipping over on its side. The spring snow also piling up in Nebraska, nearly 8 inches falling in the central part of the state. So there you go, the cold air pouring in behind what was some severe weather across parts of Kansas. You see that there, and some more snow falling in Denver, maybe 2 to 4 inches of it before we wind this thing down. And some rough weather now moving through eastern Oklahoma, getting in through northern Arkansas and southern Missouri. Some of those areas are obviously still swollen as far as the rivers are concerned. And some heavy rain coming with this. We'll see some strong storms today for sure. A lot of heavy rain getting up the Tennessee and Ohio valleys. Cincinnati, I think you'll see a tremendous amount of rain today. Some warmth ahead of this, and then it gets to the east coast and the northeast. Big cities during the day tomorrow looks to be on the wet sides, but we're watching the potential for seeing big hail and big winds, and as we saw yesterday, potential for tornadoes isolated across parts of the mid and deep south. That's check on the weather nationally. It's time now for a look at your local forecast.
Hello and good morning, Washington. What a delightful start to the weekend here. Temperatures getting into the low in mid-70s this afternoon. Fair amount of clouds overhead, but great for the Kite Festival. Southwest winds 10 to 15 miles per hour, gusts up to 30. Be sure to meet Chief Meteorologist Bill Kelly. He'll be out there today. As we head through tomorrow morning, chance for showers with a cold front. Yes, not the best to get out to the tidal basin. We will see temperatures falling behind that back into the 50s. A cooler and